Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snow. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. Have we traveled the world for past, present, and future stars? And coming to you live from Tampa, Florida. Look, it's been a lot going on in boxing, and hopefully we'll cover the past, the present, and the future today. But first of all, we like to say to all the people fasting for the month of Ramadan, we like to say Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem. And for those Christians fasting Lent, we like to offer our prayers and blessings, and that you may be rewarded for your effort. And also, we like to say for International Women's Day is today, and we want to celebrate the great women that are out here doing so many things, like Nichelle Harris, who's doing a yeoman job and doing what she does with all her adventures and her work for International Women's Day. But let's take it back 54 years ago to New York, Madison Square Garden, where Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier in 1971. It was 54 years ago, March 8, 1971, where Muhammad Ali hit the deck in the fight with Joe Frazier and end up losing a 15-round decision. And it sent shockwaves all around the world that Muhammad Ali had been beaten by Joe Frazier. Boy, did that set up a matchup that would be second to none in boxing history. It set it up a great trilogy for Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Boy, did they make boxing exciting during that era. And to see them fight their hearts out. And we're reaping the benefits for a fight like that now today in boxing. So we want to say thank you very much, and our prayers and blessings go out to the Ali family and the Frazier family for your father's great work in the sport of boxing and defending their title and defending boxing so many times that make it the great sport it is now today. So let's move on here. It seems like Canelo Alvarez is getting ready May 3rd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to defend his undisputed super middleweight title on March 3rd against Williams Skrill in Saudi Arabia. That should be exciting. I'm glad to see that Canelo Alvarez has finally decided to keep on fighting. And we're still waiting for that great matchup between him and Terrence Crawford to see two pound for pound best fighters in the world go up against each other. But anytime that you climb in the ring and you're undisputed champion, a fight is a fight and a fight is a fight. And if you don't prepare, those who fail to prepare for failure. And let's hope that he is geared up and he's prepared so both of them can put on their best performance. Boxing needs it, and he continuously bring great fans to the sport of boxing. Thank you for climbing back in there, Canelo Alvarez. And also Daniel Du Bois. It looks like he had a setback a few weeks ago when he couldn't make it because of some flu to fight Joe Parker. But it looks like that he's geared up. He's over whatever type of flu that he had. That, they're mentioning names like the former fight that he had with Joe Parker that was scheduled, or a second matchup with Anthony Joshua, and maybe the undisputed champ who gave up his belt. And that's how he got the opportunity to fight when Usyk gave up the IBF belt. So he's IBF champion because Usyk gave it up as being undisputed champ. Not all the belts, but that IBF belt he did give up because he didn't want to defend it. Hats off to you, Usyk, and we're looking forward to hear from news about Usyk climbing back in the ring in order to defend that undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, the biggest prize in sports. And boy, are people biting at the bit in order to get an opportunity to fight for that heavyweight championship. The list is long, fine, and distinguished, and we're looking for Usyk to come back in and defend that championship. Let's go back just a week or so ago into New York, the Barclay Center in New York, where Gervonta Davis, boy, oh boy, we talked about it here on the show against Lamont Roach. We had mentioned about how distracted leading up to the bout that Gervonta Davis seemed by the things that he was saying, the things that he was doing. Want to retire, want to fight, the fight's on, the fight's off, all of those controversy things that leads up to a man undecided. And when you hear guys talk about retirement, they are looking for a way out of the game. And boy, did he almost found it in New York. The bout was called a draw, but boy, was it marred in controversy like many big fights that end that kind of way. It was a majority split decision. So let's look at the key points in the ninth round. So boxing fans, from my viewpoint, can get some understanding what's going on. All right. The one knee, a boxer can take a one knee at any time, all right, for safety reasons. However, if you take a one knee, there's a mandatory 8 count that goes along with taking the one knee. That could buy a fighter time. But a fighter, if he's losing a round, it can be a 10-8 round. Or if he's winning the round, it could make it a even round for him. But in that fight with Roach, in that round, Gervonta Davis, from my viewpoint, was losing the bout. He took the one knee. When he took the one knee, then he gets up, turns his head, and heads to the corner. The referee began to give him a count at least up to 3. Okay? But however, my question is the corner of Gervonta Davis. How did the corner man make it up to the apron of the ring? If the corner man makes it up to the apron of the ring with his towel, because throwing in the towel don't cancel a fight, but to make it up in the corner of the ring to wipe his face, it's either an inspector had to say it that's in the corner with you. If the inspector didn't say for Gervonta Davis' corner to get up in the ring and wipe his face like that, well, his fighter's disqualified. So you hear it's marred in controversy. And I think Wills was on his way to make the 8 count, even though he didn't let the judges know what he was doing. Him and Davis got in a verbal exchange where it looked like it became personal between Davis and the referee, and that should never happen with a referee and a fighter. He has to stick to his duties in his role, and sometimes we're all not on the top of our games at night, and Wills is a good referee, mind you, but I don't think that night he was just on the top of his game. It went personal between him and Gervonta Davis for that moment. Now, as you go moving forward with that controversy, it seems like the New York Boxing Commission, with Xavier, who is the commissioner, they ruled that the decision will stay the same, meaning a draw. However, I don't think that's fair because of what happened with that trainer of Gervonta Davis standing up on the apron of the ring. I think the commission should answer that call also, not just about the referee, about how did Gervonta Davis trainer make it up to the apron of the ring to make his to wipe his face. Did the inspector okay it for to go? If his corner climbed up to the apron of the ring after he took an 8 count, it means he disqualified his fighter when it's time in. Those questions have to be answered. But I think what the WBA is looking at is that demand an immediate rematch. I think the WBA is on the right mark. What should happen in a case like that? It should be immediate rematch in the bout. And also what needs to be looked at, why did Gervonta Davis talk about hair grease, a substance that is illegal to use? If you remember Muhammad Ali, when he was in the fight with Sonny Liston, and he comes back to the corner, my eyes are burning, my eyes are burning. A lot of people say it was liniment on Liston's shoulder that caused Muhammad Ali's eyes to burn like that, where Angelo wiped it out and pushed him out there. So there's a lot of questions with that, but Gervonta Davis already said that there was some type of hair grease put in his hair that was coming down in his eyes, which apparently that's illegal. At one time, you couldn't even use braids in your hair or a beard. So we have to look at those, and I think the WBA, which is a fine organization, will view from their rules and things, and they would definitely make the right decision in what they're doing. Since the New York Athletic Commission has already said it's going to stay the same, but the WBA, who is the governing body of that title fight, to come out, Gilberto Mendoza Jr., who's a great president for the WBA, I think he should come out and speak sternly about that situation, and I think he will do that. So to just keep the record straight and the record clear of what goes on, what's in the rule books of the WBA, and how it had applied to that fight. And I think the WBA will hit it dead smack on the money from my viewpoint of what's going on with that fight. I think the rematch will be dynamite, and I think there should be a demand for the rematch, immediate rematch of that fight. I think in that situation, a fighter, I wouldn't say got robbed, but it wasn't the right decision. And how you take something that was wrong and make it right. Let's do it all over again. Let's run it all over again to get and see if we can get it right in boxing. So I think that will happen. So let's move on. Number 2. It seems like Turk Al-Sheikh was in New York to announce some fights in Times Square with Ring Magazine. I want to say to Turk Al-Sheikh, in the universal greetings of peace, Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Kareem, or Ramadan Mubarak, and I hope your fast is going well. And all of those around the world that are fasting, I hope their fast is going all right. However, there was some news that came out from a press conference with Turk Al-Sheikh, with Dana White, with the UFC. It looks like TKO, they have formed a boxing league with Dana White, Turk Al-Sheikh did. And it looks like they're going to try to make one championship. I think Turk Al-Sheikh, I believe you shouldn't tie your camel there, is because many have tried and many have failed, and many have pushed money at the deal in order to try to make that happen. You know, you have to look at the history of boxing and how you have to keep building the gate, and just trying to do big pay-per-views one after another. It's not going to work. HBO Boxing, which was TKO TV, they tried it and they failed. They folded up. They put bad publicity out on these boxing organizations, calling them ABC, the alphabet soup, and all of that uh, downgrading language to downgrade these organizations that do a great job with their organizational skills that keep boxing on the move. Let's look at the WBC. The WBC, which been in existence since 1962, with 169 countries around the world as their affiliates, and it's gradually growing. All right. The WBA, 103 years in existence of boxing. So you're just those two organizations with the IBF 33 years and the WBO. Let's look all of that and what keeps boxing going. If you don't build to the big one, the little ones take care of the big ones. And just to keep pushing big fights to the boxing fan, that ain't how it works. And it's been tried, proved, and tested. They can say a lot of things about Don King. His magic lies with his people ties, and he's tied in with a lot of people. And the things that he did in boxing were mystical and magical, but some of us were just around to watch that greatness and how uh, it unfolded, the strategies that were involved in that. When HBO thought that they could do it all by themselves and wanted to be the promoter, the matchmaker, and all of that. They found out how difficult it was, and they end up running out of business, folding up, because there's always a lot of noise, a lot of backbiting, but the proof is in the pudding with time. Time is your best knower, and history and culture of all our studies are best attractive, best qualified to reward a man's research as it takes upon springs and motors that spell the destiny of the human being. These great matchups that were put together that Don King did was through the test of time. And he took care of the little ones to build to the big ones. And it's called promote, 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 and advertise and advertise and advertise. But these guys don't want to promote, or nor they want to advertise in this era. And all of them want all the money, but they don't want to pay the price that it takes to be great in the pound the payment. You have to pound the payment. However, these boxing organizations, they do it all over the world. Just look at today, March 8th. If you look at how many fights, just today, there's over 25 fights around the world. The UFC don't have that, nor do they have the organizational skills to bring 169 countries into a convention to talk about boxing and how we can better it. These organizations do that, and they do it very well through the test of time. When you hear of a Joe Louis, when you hear of a Jack Dempsey, when you hear of Sugar Ray Robinson, when you hear of a Rocky Marciano, these guys and these organizations were in that time. And through the time, they have had great champions after champions and at champions. There's so many legendary fighters that come from boxing and these organizations, that keeps them up and keep these ratings going. This is what boxing has need. Boxing is good. If you have a new idea, just bring the new idea and see how you can help better boxing, but don't try to tear the whole structure that boxing has already together. Hey, look, boxing ain't failing. Boxing is alive all around the world. And women boxing help bring that alive through boxing fitness. That, you know, more people now are involved in boxing fitness and things all around the world that helps on the end of promoting fights for people come sitting in the seat to watch boxing, and also pay-per-view. Anytime, like Eddie Hearns, you hit it right dead smack on the button. I think Turk Al Sheikh, my brother, you don't tie your camel in the wrong place. I think you're tying your camel in the wrong place. And I think from the UFC, from breaking companies, you know, bankrupting them, and then trying to come from fighters not getting paid right, all of that stuff as the history, and fixed fights, the UFC, fixed fights, determine the outcome, which are against the rules in boxing. You know, when you have those type of things, and fighters been saying fix, and then Dana White, because he got the complexion for the protection, comes out and want to try to belittle these fighters when they expose to things like that. There's a balance, man. You know, if you can do that in the UFC and get away with it, fine and dandy. But boxing, please, the boxing fans, they know right from wrong. And when you tried to come in the boxing because you couldn't get your foot in right, you start downgrading and basting it to pieces to help try to build the UFC. The UFC, I love the fans. I love what they do. However, it does not compare to boxing in its intense history that it has. And when guys start bashing them, these boxing organizations like Showtime did, like HBO did, they soon found themselves out of the game, and they couldn't build the constituency that these boxing organizations have and these great promoters, what they do around the world. These guys do boxing second to none around the world. Just imagine all the multi-millionaire fighters that are created. In Turk Al Sheikh, we're not bashing you. We're just trying to open your eyes so you don't tie that camel in the wrong spot. And so, inshallah, we can keep this game moving in the wrong way. At the end of this great month of Ramadan, I think we should try to do some charity work and try to put together where boxers have a pension. That would be the great charity work. And it would be known all over the world that in Saudi Arabia, they started a boxing pension. Put up the dough, baby. That's all it is. Just put up the dough like you're putting up the dough for this dude that's going to try to rip and run anyway. So, you know, help the fighters out. You know, give some charity out, put the pension up so these fighters can have a pension after these hard careers. And that's all it would take. And then, or take so much money out of each ticket that would go into starting it. You know, somebody got to start somewhere. And I think that's a great mark for charity after coming out of this great month of Ramadan. You're doing such a great job with Ring Magazine and its belt and the promotions that you're doing. I think it's really needed. And, you know, Gilberto Mendoza, Mauricio Suleiman, Daryl Peoples, and I think just keep your head going in the right way that you have always done. In time will tell all stories and fairy tales of what y'all are able to do. Y'all are great organizations for boxing. You're great people for boxing. Your heart for the game is in the right way. And you do a lot in and out of the ring to promote boxing with these organizations. Hey, look, there's a kid somewhere down in Australia, the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, the WBO. They have guys, affiliates that look at all of these guys. That's how these guys get in the ratings, is that, hey, this guy can fight. Bang. Next thing you know, you see him in the rating. Bang. Next thing you know, he keeps fighting. He moves up. He follows the rules of the organization. Next thing you know, today's nobody's, tomorrow's somebody. And that's how it starts. It's from these boxing organizations and their affiliates around the world is that they can do these types of things. So don't tear down the structure. The structure is great and it has last through the test of time and it will be here because so many other people have tried to come in and rip this great sport of boxing into pieces because they can't have it their way. There's rules and regulations that are part of the organization that they have to follow. You know, that's why you can't have it your way. You know what I mean? You know, play by the boundary lines of the game. You play by the boundary lines of the game. That's how you win. Just because you walk up against the out of bounds line, it may look and appear like it's out of bounds, but you're still in the game. That's where greatness is reached. But La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah is the messenger, and there's no greater than Allah and His angels and His people that follow and worship Him. Hey, look, man, I'm sorry to be preaching and teaching, but I felt that was necessary to pull our brother's coattail. Don't go for the trick. Don't go for the trick, brother. Don't go for the trick. Your pocket will fill it. You know, don't go for it. You know, you're headed down the wrong road with that one, with that TKO TV and all that went out of business because they tried that. You know, so we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the World Boxing Review radio show. You know, today we're just talking about some big things that are happening in boxing today, about all of that. But also, Ring 8, that boxers helping boxers in New York, the New York Boxing Hall of Fame is sold out. So that event coming up, the Hall of Fame for March, that's sold out. There's no more tickets to that. However, Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame is September 25th of 2025. They announced their class, and it looks like who's heading that class in Atlantic City is the all-time great puncher, Julian Jackson from St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands. Man, I had a wonderful time in Atlantic City way back when Julian Jackson on the Wide World of Sports knocked out Terry Norris, man, and I trained him for that fight, and I'm glad and happy to see Julian Jackson got the nod to go in the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. Hats off to you. It's well deserved. He's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame and many others, and he should be. What a great dynamite fighter he is. And also, let's take it upstate New York to Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, September 20th at the Brook House in Rochester, New York. Michael, second to none, is going in up there. And Henry Tillman, who had a gold medalist, who has wins over Mike Tyson, stopped Mike Tyson, matter of fact, from going into the Olympics. And also Freddie Ladd. So that's at the Brook House, September 20th, 2025. Now let's move to Indianapolis, Indiana, coming up May 2nd, May 3rd at the Hilton Garden Inn in Indianapolis, Indiana. Craig Hawk is president, and you have Ray Mercer, Lights Out James Toney, and also Freddie Ladd is also going into that. But you have the WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza Jr., he's going into that Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. And also Darryl People, president of the IBF, is going in to the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame, May 2nd and May 3rd, just to name a few. And also, let's take it out to California coming up, April 25th, the National Boxing Hall of Fame out there with Bill and Linda Dempsey on April 25th. And April 25th, 2025. Um, Bill and Linda Dempsey, the class of 25 is going in, man. That's really something. Montebello, California, man. What a nice event that is also, man. All these Hall of Fames, man, just one, two, three coming up here. So it's going to be, it's always busy around this year for the Hall of Fames where guys are making them runs into the Hall of Fame. But also, Ed Brophy, who's director of the International Boxing Hall of Fame and Museum. Their induction will be June 5th through the 8th, 2025. This event is almost sold out, to my understanding. It might be sold out, but don't miss it, man. You got the great Manny Pacquiao is going in. Also with Michael Second to None is going in during that time. And also the great referee Kenny Bailiff, who have refereed a lot of great fights in this era. It's good to see Kenny and Michael Nunn and Manny Pacquiao and them getting that nod. And also Vinny Paz, man. Vinny Paz is also a fan favorite. You know, hats off to you, Vinny. It's been a hard fought battle to get in, but hey, look, you finally got the nod and you're on your way, man. The International Boxing Hall of Fame, June 5th through the 8th through the 25th, man. Get your tickets, man. It's exciting to go up there, the parade. You get a chance to see the museum, you know, get a chance to witness all of that greatness, just like all of these other boxing Hall of Fames. Go there, man. The boxers love it when you come out and see them. They've been a credit to the game, and let's keep it that way. You know, um, get out there and sell these events out because they paid their dues to get the nod. You know, and I'm happy to see that. So let's take it to April 12th. It looks like Boots Ennis, he's back. He's climbing back in the ring. He would be defending his welterweight title down in Philadelphia. It's good to see him. But Ring Magazine with Turk Al Sheik, May 2nd in Times Square. Looks like Ryan Garcia is going to be climbing back in the ring with Devin Haney and Telavita Lopez. Man, what a dynamite card for Times Square to see those three guys back in the ring and back defending their titles in that New York market, which is big. But I want to say this for this Times Square event. I just hope the New York Boxing Commission gets their act together, because what happened with that big fight in Brooklyn, to see the commission unravel is not. They need to tighten up the ship, is because when you're in New York, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, and all eyes are on you. With three big name, big title fights like that, let's see if we can get it right. Boxing Commission, you need it, and the game needs it for you to hit it dead smack on the head, no matter what goes on, and make sure that your inspectors and referees and all of that are up to par when it comes to doing fights, you know, and that's what makes it. Don't put it on the promoter, you know, who promoted the fight. That's wrong. Where you hear somebody try to blame the promoter where the governing body, the commission, erred in their judgment by the people that are hired by them to carry out their duties, and then for them to turn around and other people are trying to step on a promoter and try to say that the promoter got it wrong when he got it all right. It was some kind of fight. Most people didn't give Roach a chance, and Roach showed that why he's champion at 130 pounds, that he pulled off greatness. He just didn't get the nod. And I think in the rematch, we're going to see something great by both of them. Let's do it again. And to go back over May 3rd in Saudi Arabia, Canelo Alvarez is climbing back in the ring, and it's good to see Canelo Alvarez climbing back in. So, man, there's still a lot more to go. In boxing, boxing's moving so fast every day because, boxing's on the move. People are busy all around the world, man. This is a world game. It ain't just a local game. It's a world game, and people are in gyms all around the world, looking for their opportunity and to seize the moment, to seize the opportunity. And who don't want to be champ? Many are trying and some have failed, but guess what? At least they tried, they gave it the effort, and that's what these boxing organizations do. They give a chance and an opportunity for people to strive for greatness and to be it changes lives. How do I know? Because it changed my life as a kid, and to represent the WBC, the WBA, and the WBO and the IBF, going all around the world as a boxing ambassador. uh, it's great. Boxing's great, and we got to make sure that people that are just trying to come in and hit and run, is that they're not able to just come in and hit and run. Is that they're in the hunt for the long run, and by doing the right thing to people without not paying them, you know, no fixed fights, that in this era, what hurts that is that when you people from other combated sports where they're here to fight was fixed, or they're planning the outcome of the fight and all that, that hurts boxing. To fix a fight in boxing, you go to jail a long time in the U.S. for fixing a belt to know the outcome. So let's try to uh, keep it clean, even though you ain't gonna use it. You know what I mean? In the WBC and the WBA, the IBF and the WBO, fine organizations, man. I love y'all guys. Y'all guys keep up the good work. And we want to thank the boxing fans, number one. Boxing fans, number one, that keep boxing going around the world, man. You know, when you hear guys make millions and millions of dollars, it's because of the boxing fans come out when these promoters are giving them giving the people what they want. Well, thank you for tuning in to World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions, as we travel the world for past, present, and future stars.